Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the second live broadcast from Live Oak Theater, old time radio revival. Randy, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. It's an awesome way to spend Mother's Day.
It really is. I'm having fun. Of course, I'm not a mom, and my wife is incredibly gracious, as is my mom. We're going to party later this afternoon, but I think all those folks out there listening around the old timey, newfangled radio devices, we're incredibly excited to have you in. Should we call it Radioland?
Radioland. I like that.
That's like old. That's what they used to call it. And
Live Oak goes to Radioland.
Ooh, that's fun. That's fun. I like that. We just keep adding new exciting things every week. But right. Today I'm excited what we're bringing. Last time we got to do Sherlock Holmes, which was a ton of fun. Today we're pulling out one of the old staples, the Green Hornet. And that's gonna be a blast.
Fun. I love it. It's like a 1940s mystery.
It is, and it's every bit as edge of the seat as it was in the 1940s, which means it seems like not too many people thought much about crime.
Absolutely.
So we've got an incredible cast of actors hanging out backstage, ready to bring it to us. But I just wanted, if I could for a second, to just pause and say thank you and much appreciation to all of the amazing moms, and Randy, you're one of them, out there in Radio Land. We know that moms are the backbone and the beating heart of all of society. And so we love you. And from the bottom of our hearts here at Live Oak Theater, thank you, moms, and happy Mother's Day to you all.
Yeah. Moms are actually the backbone of theater usually too, if you think about it. I mean, you dads do a lot, but the moms usually do the driving.
Yep. And the costuming
and the waiting,
the makeuping and the waiting.
The costuming. Yeah. So go moms. I know my mom is listening. Yay.
Hey, oh, hi. How you doing? Good to see you. Well, not see you, but hear you. For you to hear me. Anyway, we get the idea. Also, a big shout out to our sponsors, of course, Carol and Frank Morsani, Oak Hill Hospital, Just In Case Auto, and so many others we'll be mentioning, I'm sure, throughout the show. But we really, really deeply appreciate your support and continued patronage of Live Oak Theater, even during this time when we can't all physically be together. And if you're listening out there in Radio Land and you would like to continue to support Live Oak, we will have right there in the comments a link for you to give in any amount. And of course, every tiny bit helps. And so $1, $2 as we go through it, that link's up in the comments, and feel free to give. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for everybody who has supported us in these crazy, trying times. It means the world to us. Every single time we get a check in the mail or something comes through on PayPal or Square, really, your contributions mean the world to us. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Absolutely. Could not appreciate it more. And all of the actors who get to come and be a part of Live Oak Theater, it's huge to us. We know that it's a massive place that does so much for so many different people in the community. And so we really appreciate your continued patronage and support. So there you go. Like I said, the comments have the link if you'd like to continue to give. But I think without any further ado, I know we're all anxiously waiting to hear the Green Hornet, Justice Wears a Blindfold. You ready to go, Randy?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, let's do this.
Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies that even the G-men cannot reach. The Green Hornet. The adventurer, Justice Wears a Blindfold. The events and characters depicted in this drama are fictitious. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental.
Hey, Clicker! Clicker, where are you?
Oh, close that door. Don't you know any better than to let light in a photographer's darkroom?
You and your silly snapshots. I have important news.
Oh, yeah?
Where are you? It's black as pitch in here. Can't see where I'm going.
Oh, Lowry, you bumped into a pile of equipment.
Will you come on out of this place?
All right. No harm been done anyway. Small thanks to you.
Come on, bring your camera.
I always bring my camera.
I'm glad to be out here where I can see what goes on.
Well, that's what I want to know. What does go on?
Plenty. The law finally caught up with Stefani.
Slip Stefani. Don't tell me he's been arrested again.
Arrested my eye. This time he's going on trial.
You mean he won't wiggle out of this one the way he has all the others?
There were no witnesses before, Clicker.
Huh. Sounds interesting. What do we do?
Gunnigan gave you and me the assignment of going over to the courthouse.
What for? Stefani won't be there. He'll be out on bail.
We're not seeing Stefani, Clicker.
No?
We're going to find out who's going to be the judge in his trial. In an important trial like this, the Sentinel's got to cover every angle. And the judge is one of them.
Not to mention the jury.
Sure, but even in a jury case, the judge is plenty important. And you know Stefani.
Gosh, Larry, I hope he gets a judge who'll really treat him rough.
Hey, Stefani.
Can't you see I'm busy with my mouthpiece?
Yes, Dutch. As Slip's lawyer, I'm planning his defense.
Yeah, but Slip, listen. Guess who's gonna be the judge in your next case?
Who?
Grayson.
What?
Yeah, Grayson. I was hanging around the courthouse and one of the clerks in the special sessions gave me the tip.
Stefani, you're sunk. Grayson is the toughest judge on the bench. You won't stand a chance before him.
Yeah, is that so?
He's dynamite. You know the kind of reputation he has.
Yeah, he's the one guy that can't be fixed, Slip.
I know all about Grayson.
Slip, I'm your lawyer.
Yeah?
If you want legal advice from me, I'm telling you might as well jump bail.
Yeah, Cecily's right, Slip. Take it on the lam. I just got the car waiting downstairs.
Yeah, forget it, Dutch. Not
Yeah, I
happening.
got a chance.
Yeah, why not?
You'll get a 20-year sentence at the stake.
I said I'm staying, Schiller.
But Slip!
Don't be a sap, Stefani.
Me, blow out of town because of Grayson? Nothing doing. I got a nice racket and I'm keeping it, see?
You can't run it from behind prison bars.
Shiller's got a point, Slip.
Who said anything about me going to the gal?
Yeah, where else are you heading with Grayson judging yous?
Now get this straight, you two. This ain't no surprise to me.
Hey, what does it mean?
I knew Grayson was going to be the judge a week ago.
Do you mean to tell me
And what's
that-
more, I ain't worried. I got this case fixed, you see?
Ah, Slip, who's you kidding?
Grayson's got a secretary, ain't he?
Of course he has.
That secretary's appointed through politics.
Ah, everybody knows that. Even a judge has got to hand out something to his party if he wants to get a job.
Correct, Dutch. When the judge wants to get nominated, he has to make certain concessions to the political party.
It don't mean nothing though. They only do it because they got us. Grayson don't have much use for a secretary.
Yeah, Grayson don't, but we sure do.
What do you mean, Slip?
When my trial comes up, that guy's gonna be working for me. And when he gets through fixing things up, well, Judge Grayson's gonna have the jury on my side. It's in the bag, all wrapped up and ready to deliver.
Judge Grayson's gonna handle the Stefani trial.
How about a statement from the judge?
No, the judge's secretary says nothing doing.
What's the judge's opinion on racketeering in general?
Don't know, but my editor's gonna be sore if I don't get something.
Well, they say the judges are busy.
Say, where are you going, Lowry?
Come on, Clicker.
We're supposed to see the judge.
He's not seeing anyone.
I thought so. Giving up already. Well, I'm going back.
Who's giving up?
I suppose you have another name for it?
If you'd use those pretty little peepers of yours, you'll see that door on the side corridor.
Sure, I see it. What does that have to do with anything?
That door, Clicker, is another entrance into Judge Grayson's offices. While those other news hounds are clamoring around the main entrance, we're gonna sneak in this way.
Don't tell me that's your own idea, Lowry. I bet you saw it in a movie.
Never mind the wisecracks. Now faint.
What?
Faint. Make believe you're fainting.
Well, I get it. That's our alibi for barging in the judge's office.
Never mind the explanations. Get busy. Here's the door.
All right, here I go.
Hey, you don't gotta put your weight on me until the door's open. Excuse me. This lady, she's passed out.
Yes, of course, Schiller. I know what to do. You don't have to worry, Schiller. All right, Schiller. Who are you? Don't you realize this is a private office?
I'm sorry. She's fainted. put her on the couch for a minute?
You can't stay here.
She may be feminine, but she isn't frail. Hope I didn't interrupt your phone call.
Phone call? Oh, it's nothing important.
Oh, well, where am I?
She's butter. Now get her out of here.
Now, wait a minute, Creevy. You can't just...
How do
can't
you
just-
know my name?
Well, I heard it from one of the men in the hall mention it.
Well, I guess I must have fainted.
Ah, you reporters. Get out. Judge Grayson isn't seen any reporters.
Creevy, what's wrong?
Judge Grayson, I'm Lowry, Daily Sentinel. How about that Stefani trial?
I sneaked in with this young lady, Judge.
Young man, since I've been selected to preside over Mr. Stefani's trial, I am not at liberty to make any statements.
Well, how about racketeering in general, sir?
As a judge, my sentiments on crime of any sort are well known. As for this trial, you'll have to wait till it's over.
Sure, but
I can promise one thing. This trial will be conducted as I've always conducted trials in the past, strictly according to the evidence.
There now. You'll have to leave, both of you.
Thanks, Judge. It isn't much, but it's a statement anyhow. Go on, Clicker.
Hey, Casey, how do you like this photo?
Also, where's Mr. Reed?
Clicker, don't wave that picture in my face. It's still damp.
Sure, I just pulled it off the hypo. It's a candid shot of Judge Grayson. I snapped it while he was talking to Lowry.
The judge didn't even know Clicker was snapping it.
Did you get anything from about the Stefani trial?
Well, you know, Casey, since he's going to conduct it, he couldn't very well give an opinion beforehand.
Well, but look at this picture. Get that expression on his face.
Mm-hmm. Looks like bad news for Stefani, doesn't he?
Yeah, he was careful about his words, Casey, but he didn't think anyone would be catching his facial expressions.
That's what makes it a story. You know what the Chinese say?
In this case, yes. You mean the one about one picture being worth 1,000 words?
Yes, well, now that that's all cleared up, how about it, Casey? Where's the boss?
Mr. Reed's at the ball game.
Again?
Talking about me, Lowry.
Oh, hello, Mr. Reed.
How was that ball game?
I left after the 5th inning. Score so lopsided, it just got dull.
Mr. Reed, Lowry couldn't get a definite statement from Judge Grayson.
Grayson? About what?
The Stefani trial, Mr. Reed. He's going to preside.
Oh, yes, that. Well, if he won't talk, he won't talk. You can't expect it as long as he's going to be the judge.
I took such a swell picture of him, too. Look, Mr. Reed.
Yes, that's not bad.
Not bad. It's perfect.
Yes.
Yeah, but what good does it do without a story? All the judge would say is that he'd conduct the trial as he'd done all the others in the past.
Not very definite, is it?
It's about as definite as a dictator's promise.
Gunnigan thought maybe if we use the picture and the statement that itself might make a story. The expression on his face is so strong that maybe our
Yes,
readers
but
would...
did the judge give you permission to snap this, Clicker?
No, not exactly, Mr. Reed.
Well, then the Sentinel has no right to use it. I'm sorry, Mrs. Benny.
Say, Mr. Reed, you tore up my photo.
We can use no picture of the judge without his authorization.
There goes our story. Without a picture, it's not worth a stick of type.
Oh, we have a picture, Lowry.
Yeah?
But you just said.
Yeah, there are plenty of pictures of Judge Grayson in our files. Look through them, Miss Benny. I'm sure you'll find one that's every bit as strong as this one. We could do that without getting in trouble, at least.
The night before the trial of Slip Stefani was scheduled to start, 2 men called on Judge Grayson late in the evening. Good evening, Judge.
Gravy, what are you doing here? Who's this
You
with
know,
you?
Mr. Schiller, Judge. He's Stefani's lawyer.
Can I see you for a few minutes, Judge? It's about the trial.
Schiller, if you're here to discuss Stefani's trial, the answer is no. You should know better than that.
Yeah, it's about something else, Judge Grayson. Another matter entirely.
Well, in that case, come in. We'll go into my study. I have a few minutes to spare. All right, here we are. Now, what is it, Schiller?
Privy, close the door. Judge, you're going to fix things so Stefani goes free.
What are you saying? Do you know what you're saying? How dare you discuss that?
Nah, you better do as he says, Judge.
You know, I never had much use for you, Creevy. You're my secretary only because I was obliged to take you. Now, get out. Both of you.
Hold on, Grayson.
I'll have you both put out.
You're not calling the police or anyone, Grayson. First, we talk about Stefani.
I'll have you disbarred.
No, you won't. And you're not withdrawing from this case.
Schiller, I warn you.
You decide in Stefani's favor, or I'll have you thrown off the bench.
Do you know what you're saying?
Every word, Judge.
It's ridiculous.
Here, look at these checks made out to cash.
Why should they concern me?
Look at the endorsement on the back, Judge.
But I don't see
They're
why.
endorsed over to you, Judge Grayson.
And notice who signed them.
Endorsed over to me? Why, Hartford and Young, these are their checks.
Yes, you tried them both and freed them.
Well, of course, the evidence was on their side.
Sure, but Hanford and Young are both dead now. From these checks, it looks as if they bribed you to let them go.
Where did you get these checks? I never saw them before.
I'm your secretary, Judge. I took those checks and had them deposited to your bank.
If necessary, Creevy will swear that you knew all about them. It'll mean you're finished as a judge. Disgrace to you and your family.
But it's impossible. Both Hanford and Young are dead.
The checks are evidence enough.
Oh, all of this, Schiller, will do you no good. I'm only the judge. It's the jury that will decide Stefani's fate.
You can do plenty, Grayson. You can fix it so that jury never has a chance to go to the jury room.
Impossible.
Pick on something the district attorney says. Declare a mistrial, Judge.
That will only delay things. There will be another trial.
Don't worry. By that time, Stefani can take care of the witnesses, so there won't be another trial.
I refuse to be a party to the miscarriage of justice.
You're on the spot, Judge.
Remember your wife. She's not well.
Exactly. If you're impeached, the scandal will kill her.
Yes. Emily, her heart. 20 years on the bench, and now this.
The great Judge Grayson. They won't suspect a thing.
We'll see you in court tomorrow, Judge. Keep your mind on one thing. That weak heart your wife has. Stefani goes free. Or else.
Stefani trial starts tomorrow. Racketeer goes on trial. Jury selected. Central paper.
But, Your Honor, this witness is important.
The court cannot waste the jury's time with non-essentials, Mr. District Attorney. I do not consider this witness of any importance. Call your next witness.
Holy cats, Clicker. Looks like Stefani's pretty lucky.
We certainly had the best of it so far.
And look at Judge Grayson. Why, he looks like he's half dead.
Several days after the start of the Stefani trial, Britt Reed burst into his apartment and spoke to Cato, his faithful valet, and the only person living to know him as the Green Hornet.
Cato,
Yes, Mr. Reed.
I've just come from the Stefani trial. Judge Grayson has just called a recess until further notice. Looks like he's going to call it a mistrial.
What is that?
It's when someone tries to influence a jury indirectly by bringing in some matter which doesn't belong. It's a very technical point.
Who done that?
That's just it. The district attorney mentioned something about Stefani, and usually no one would notice it. But Judge Grayson immediately jumped on him and said he would have to consider a motion for a mistrial.
Is that bad?
Well, Cato, if there's a mistrial, Stefani will get off. I'm certain of it. What puzzles me is Judge Grayson himself.
What's wrong, Mr. Britt?
Well, Grayson has lost his old spirit. He looks like a man condemned. There's something behind this, Cato. It appears very much like an attempt to take unfair advantage of blindfolded justice.
Oh, by who?
That's just it, Cato. I don't know whether it's Stefani alone or whether Grayson is in on it too. But we're going to find out. Get the mask, Cato, and the gun.
Yes, sir. You go out this Green Hornet?
Yes, Cato. Justice wears a blindfold, but in this case, she just may be able to see the scales, with a little help from the Green Hornet.
The curtain falls falls in the first act of our Green Hornet adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Live Oak Theater has been sponsored in part with regular contributions from Papa Joe's, Chick-fil-A, WWJB, Red Mile Appraisals, Kesseltech, Wrong Dites, John and Randy Alaco, Nancy Panticus, Greg Mize, Elizabeth Witherell, and many people like you. Now, to continue our story. When a notorious racketeer was brought to trial, the public believed he would at last be found guilty of his crimes. But the racketeer had brought pressure to bear on the judge in his case. He and the judge's crooked secretary had framed the judge so that he would be forced to free the racketeer or be disgraced. When the judge trial was halted for the judge's decision, Britt Reed assumed his role of the Green Hornet to carry out the ends of true justice. It is evening in the Grayson home. Mrs. Grayson speaks to her husband.
John, what's troubling you?
It's nothing. Now, won't you please leave me? I have work to do.
All right, John.
I'm sorry to be so abrupt, but I must decide on this motion for mistrial tonight.
Your secretary, Creevy, is outside. Did you want him?
Creevy? No, I don't.
John, you won't do anything that isn't right, will you?
Well, of course not. I'm only doing my duty as a judge.
I just wanted to be sure. Good night, dear.
I could free Stefani right now so easily, yet I know it isn't right.
Then why are you doing it?
What? Who are you?
If you free that racketeer, Grayson, you won't be worthy of the position you hold.
You're wearing a mask. How did you get in here?
Through the French door.
If your motive is burglary, I warn you that
I am not a burglar.
Then why are you here?
Grayson, have you ever heard of the Green Hornet?
The Green Hornet? You're the Green Hornet?
Precisely. And what does that name mean to you?
Everything that's crooked. You're wanted for every crime up to murder.
And yet, I've never committed murder.
Don't quibble.
Nor is that all, Grayson. The Green Hornet has never committed any crime. Unless, of course, you call bringing criminals to justice a crime.
The law takes care of criminals.
Sometimes there are criminals who evade the law, and that's when the Green Hornet steps in. And that's why I'm here now.
Stefani sent you here, didn't he?
Whatever do you mean? Perhaps you're right, Judge. Maybe Stefani did send me here.
He's not content to hold those checks over my head as a threat. He sends you here in addition.
What checks are you talking about?
Don't pretend you don't know. Unless I grant Stefani a mistrial, those checks will be his means of having me disgraced. I'll be turned out of my position as judge.
I begin to understand. Blackmail, is it?
Worse than blackmail. Those checks will convict me of accepting bribes, even though I never did.
So you're entirely innocent of such things, is that it?
Of course I am. Yet Creevy and Stefani between them, but why repeat all this? If you're in with Stefani, you're familiar with his scheme already.
Who has those checks? Is it Stefani?
Stop all this pretense.
Answer me, Judge. Who has those checks?
My secretary, Creevy. If he carried them with him, I'd be tempted to use force to get them back.
I see. He has them hidden someplace then. His apartment, possibly?
I presume so.
You do realize, Grayson, that it's your sworn duty to uphold the law, regardless of any personal consequences that may follow?
I'm powerless to do anything. My wife is not well. Any disgrace may be fatal to her.
There's only one way to prove yourself an honest judge.
But why are you talking this way? You said Stefani sent you.
It was you who said that, Judge Grayson, not I. I'm here to aid justice.
You and Stefani cannot trick me, Hornet. I know very well you're here for one reason, to make certain that I carry out Stefani's wishes.
Judge Grayson, I just came out to find that man.
Out of my way, Grayson.
It's the Green Hornet.
Let me go, Grayson.
No, you can't go after him.
Why not? Isn't that your crooked Creevy, your secretary?
Please, if you go out there, my wife will see you. She has a weak heart. It might cause serious complications.
Well, in that case, Grayson, I'll follow Creevy another way. Through the French door, the same way I came in.
Thank heavens you didn't go out there.
But remember one thing, Grayson. Do not call the police.
I won't.
And whatever happens, keep this in mind. Nothing is going to halt Stefani's trial, not even you. His guilt or innocence is a matter for the jury to decide. I'm going to make certain that jury has the chance.
Yeah, what's the idea? What are you doing here this time of night, Creevy? I thought you were over at the judge's home.
I just came from there, Stefani. Something happened.
You mean Grayson's gonna let me off?
No, it ain't that. Now listen, Stefani. I just walked from Grayson's study without knocking, see?
Yeah, sure. Why bother to be polite to him when we've got him on the spot, huh?
There's nothing to laugh about, Stefani. Do you know who was there?
Yeah, how could I?
Well, it was the Green Hornet.
What? The Green Hornet? It was Grayson?
Yeah, I recognized him. That mask he wears is just like the pictures in the paper.
Did he get you?
No, he started for me, but I slammed the door. I came over here as fast as I could.
Well, if the Hornet's in on this, we better watch out. That guy's dynamite.
Oh, you're not telling me anything, no.
Yeah, he might blast our scheme wide open.
Well, but I can't figure it, Slip. Who's he working for?
All I know is he ain't working for us. We gotta do something, Creevy, and fast.
Well, yeah, that's why I came here.
Yeah, did you bring them checks?
Don't worry about them, Stefani. They're safe in my apartment.
Ah, you sap. What do you mean safe? Long as the Green Hornet's around, ain't nothing safe.
Yes, you're right. What should I do?
Get over to your place and bring those checks back here, now.
Okay.
I'll call Sheila and have him stop putting pressure on Judge Grayson. We gotta have Grayson set me free in a hurry before something goes haywire.
Once Grayson declares a mistrial, you're all set, Slip.
And never mind the talk. Get moving. For all we know, the Hornet may already be at your place right now.
After trailing Creevy to Stefani's place in the Black Beauty, Red Reed stayed only long enough to watch Creevy enter. Then he spun the wheel and headed for the secretary's apartment, arriving there before Creevy. He picked up the telephone.
Who you call, Mr. Britt?
I'm calling the police, Cato. I want to get some news to them before Creevy arrives. Meanwhile, you get busy giving this apartment the appearance of having been burglarized. Pull out drawers and upset things.
Right away.
Hello, police department. I got a little tip for you. Slip Stefani is going to try to jump bail tonight. No, never mind who's calling. Watch Stefani. He's planning to run out on his trial. There's time enough for me to act before the police trace this phone.
Mr. Stefani run away?
Well, Stefani doesn't know it yet, Cato, but he'll try to run away for sure, as soon as he learns that we have those checks.
Shall I look for them, Mr. Britt?
Aha, no. We won't look for those checks, Cato. We'll have Creevy locate them for us. They're the first things he'll look for when he sees how upset this place is. Now, put out the lights, and we'll wait for him to arrive.
Reed and Cato hid themselves behind the drapes in Creevy's apartment. Then, a short time later...
Quiet, Cato. Someone's coming in.
Gotta find those checks before anyone gets them. Now, where's that light? What the devil? This place has turned into a mess. The Green Hornet must have been here already. If we found those checks, the game's up. But I'll look in the drawer where I kept them. Why, they're still here. The checks, just like I left them. But I guess the Green Hornet didn't have anything to do with this after all.
Hand over those checks, Creevy.
The Green Hornet!
That's exactly right. You recognized me in Judge Grayson's study, didn't you?
Who are you working for, Hornet?
For justice, Creevy. But you wouldn't understand that.
You can't talk to me that way. I'm Judge Grayson's secretary.
You're a crook, Creevy. You're working for Stefani. But this is one time you won't get away with your little plan.
How do you know about it?
Never mind that. Are you going to give me those checks?
If you want them, Hornet, try and get them. Ugh!
The chair missed me, Creevy. Your aim was bad.
You... Gosh, I can't breathe.
He's out. I didn't figure on using gas on him, Cato. I thought he'd surrender those checks without any fuss.
Here are the checks, Mr. Britt.
Yes, let me see. Well, they're made out to Cass, for sure. Deposited in Judge Grayson's account. There's no doubt that if these were made public, it would mean the end of Grayson's career.
That must not happen.
Well, that's up to Grayson himself, Cato. If he can't decide to do the right thing, regardless of consequences, He doesn't deserve to be a judge. I'll keep these checks handy just in case.
Yes, sir.
We'll see Grayson presently. First, I'll call Stefani and let him know what's happened. He's expecting a call from Creevy, so he may be a little surprised when he finds out who it is.
Hello.
Stefani?
Yeah, who's talking? Is that you, Creevy?
No, it isn't Creevy, but I am calling from his place.
Yeah, why don't Creevy call? Put him on the phone.
That's impossible. You see, I just had to give Creevy gas to get certain bits of paper from him.
Creevy's been gassed? Say, who is this? Who's talking?
This is the Green Hornet.
Who are you kidding?
What's more, I have those checks. The game's up, Stefani. You're finished.
The checks. No, listen, Hornet. I'll pay you for them checks. I'll pay you plenty. Only don't give them over to Judge Grayson.
You'd better start running, Stefani. There's a long stretch in jail waiting for you if you don't. He'll start running, all right. Directly into the hands of the police. They'll make certain he doesn't get away from his own trial.
Yes, sir.
I'd be interested to know how Judge Grayson acts when he finds out that Stefani has attempted to skip out.
When the news of Stefani's attempt to jump his bail reached the ears of the reporters, they immediately rushed to Judge Grayson's home and clamored for a statement.
Stefani got nabbed by the cops trying to get away.
How about a statement from the judge, Mrs. Grayson?
Will this make any difference in the motion for a mistrial?
Here's Judge Grayson now.
Emily, what are these reporters doing here at this time of night?
Judge, Stefani was just caught trying to leave town.
Does this mean he has inside information?
The only reason he'd leave would be if you decided to continue the trial.
Is that it, Judge?
I cannot give my decision on that until court opens in the morning. Now, if you excuse me, I'm going to my study.
But Judge Grayson...
Mrs. Grayson will show you out. Good night.
Oh, we better be in court tomorrow, Lowry.
You said it, Clicker.
You'll have to leave, all of you.
All right. Come on, Clicker. Let's go.
I can't understand it. Why should Stefani do a thing like this when he's sure of his release?
Perhaps he isn't so sure after all.
What? Oh, you. You've come back again. What is it this time?
I've been waiting here in your study, Judge, while those reporters were outside trying to interview you.
Is this more of Stefani's work?
I have no idea what you mean.
He isn't fool enough to try to jump bail while he has those checks.
Suppose the checks were gone. Suppose they weren't in his possession any longer.
But that's ridiculous.
Is it?
Look here. If Stefani thinks he has me in the palm of his hand completely enough for a farce like this, he's mistaken. He's gone too far.
And just what are you going to do about it?
If you weren't pointing a gun at me, maybe I would tell you that.
This gun is for my own protection. I can't afford to be captured.
I can well believe that.
You haven't answered my question yet, Judge. How about Stefani? Will his trial go on?
If it's any of your business, Stefani's trial will go on.
Even if it means your disgrace.
Do you see this envelope on my desk?
Yes, I see it.
That envelope contains my resignation. I wrote it an hour ago before I knew Stefani was going to run out.
And why did you do that?
Because I decided that Stefani's case would go on. After that, I shall resign. This envelope contains my statement.
Why don't you open that envelope, Judge?
Why should I?
All right, if you won't, then I'll open it for you. Go ahead, look inside.
But that's not my resignation. It looks like these are the canceled checks, the ones Stefani threatened to use against me. Where did they come from?
I put them there.
You?
Yes. I came here to make certain Stefani's trial would go on.
You read my resignation.
I did, while you were outside with the reporters. That resignation was proof that you intended doing the honest thing, Judge Grayson. Proof that you refused to aid lawbreakers.
I always shall, no matter the consequences.
And that is why I removed the resignation, Judge Grayson. There's no longer any need for you to resign.
I don't know what to say, how to thank you.
Burn those checks, Grayson, and you'll have nothing to fear. As for thanking me, well, I'll have all the thanks I need when Stefani gets what's coming to him.
He will. The jury will see to that.
The story you have just heard was brought to by Pat and Yvonne Brewer, Beth and Stan Putnam, Walmart of Brooksville, and was performed by Randy Olson, Kyle Mara, Katie Moore, Ron Dykes, Micaiah Reese, Spencer Mitten, and Chris Reese. Our Foley artists are Josh, Trenton, and Truett Saliba. And this is a production of Live Oak Theater. If you would like to support Live Oak Theater with a donation of any amount, please visit the link in the comments. Your continued patronage is deeply appreciated. Until next time, this is your announcer saying Happy Mother's Day to all of you wonderful ladies out there. We love you and deeply appreciate you.